Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, is presented by Parasite Systems. I'm your host, Doug Simcox. Hope that you're having a great day wherever you might be, and I hope that you are staying safe. If you're driving down the road, please keep your eyes up. Pay attention to the traffic around you. We got a lot of cowboys and cowgirls that are hustling all-night drives, long drives from rodeo to rodeo. And we want to make sure that you can listen to our podcast as you do, hands-free. Hopefully you listen to your speakers on your truck, on your car. Today, BTC, Beyond the Chutes, is on the road again. The big red bus headed to New Paris, Ohio. It's about, I'm going to say about an hour north and west of Cincinnati, Dayton area. Beautiful countryside. I drove up on Route 732 North through all the elbows and all the curves and all the hills. I wanted to experience everything there was to experience about this great country. And today we are at King Brothers Rodeo Reunion. First annual. Great turnout. My goodness, all the folks that have turned out here. Very special day. And I've got two very special guests who are going to talk to us about King Brothers Rodeo. Started in 1897. We have Mr. Steve King.
I do.
Good to have you on the show today. And Miss Deborah King. Miss Deborah Jane.
No, Sue.
Deborah Sue King is with us as well. So, guys, great to be here. Gorgeous day outside. Great turnout. Has anybody have you done a head count yet of how many folks are here?
No,
I have no idea.
My goodness, it is standing room only. We have really enjoyed it here today. So, had a great meal. You got everybody signed in, Debbie?
Yes.
So let's get down to business. Let's talk a little bit about King Brothers Rodeo. 1897, it all started. Take us back as far as you guys can go.
I'm glad to.
Okay, perfect.
We started in I didn't. But
You were just a youngster then.
yes, I think I was like, 13 years old when we started, When I started getting involved in it, I'm a little bit older than 13 now, but I've had a lot of good experience. I have a lot of good people to help me along the way. My mom and dad was great teachers, and they've taught us everything we know, and it's just a good family business.
And how many rodeos are you guys producing in 2024?
Yeah.
I think there was only 6, I think.
6 rodeos.
Yeah.
And here in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky?
They were all in Kentucky this
All
year.
in Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ohio and Indiana just got so daggone hard to do business in, and there's a lot of other contractors that's, beating the bushes and doing like everybody else,
You bet.
just trying to survive.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about surviving, 1897, still going strong. Wow. So talk about the founding fathers.
It started with our granddad and his brother, Tom and Jack King. And they were in Oklahoma and just got started on it. And then all of a sudden, in the 50s, my dad decided to take over and do it.
And you started in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting in Ohio, kind of the home base of the King Brothers Rodeo today.
Close.
So when did it move out of Oklahoma? And I don't want to jump ahead. Grandfather?
About 1954, Dad started. My dad was Roy King. And he started the rodeo, and along with his mom, Dorothy King.
Okay.
And we were all involved.
And what brought him to Ohio?
Good question.
My dad had a trucking terminal up here.
Oh, he did?
A trucking
Yes.
business.
Trucking business.
Yes, he
Okay.
did.
Okay. And they produce rodeos in Oklahoma and up here as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
we rodeo up here in the summertime at the county fairs, and then we go back to South Texas and rodeo down there in the wintertime.
Oh, wow.
Permanent arena in West.
And it was a good deal.
Yeah.
We had a permanent arena down there in Weslaco, and we had rodeos there, and we had great turnouts. It was great.
And full rodeos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No such thing at this point, bull riding only.
No.
No. And full tilt, yeah, trick riders, entertainers, clowns, all of that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Trick ropers, you name it.
Okay.
Yeah, we had it all.
You
Yes,
had
we
it all.
did.
And what were some of the entertainers that came through? Trick riders or cowboys,
We
clowns?
had, the Sullivans were with us. You're going to love this. Panther and Ethel Sullivan.
Oh,
And they were with us, and Doris and Ralph Schaubacher. And I'll spell that for you later.
Okay.
And then when it all went even, the kids here all rodeoed too.
okay.
She's a trick rider. She was a trick rider for a while. It was just a family situation. We
Yeah.
all traveled together and had a great time.
Yeah. And if you didn't have enough bronc riders, you had family to get on broncs?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
About
they
mounting them out.
they need to
Tell
tough
about
them up.
mounting them out.
Yeah. Had to toughen up.
About mounting them out.
They had to
Mount
mount the horses.
Yeah.
And Dad would pay them a mount fee
Mount
to
fee
get
to
on
get
them.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And who was the announcer?
My dad, Roy King.
Okay.
He announced for a lot of years,
Making you get on the
but
first
he
one with them.
he would only do his own.
He only announced his own.
Yes,
but at
sir.
that time, how many rodeos were you putting on?
Oh my gosh, we'd have 30 or 40 a year.
Really?
Yeah.
So all summer you're hustling.
Yes,
sir.
You're
yes.
somewhere every darn weekend.
From
Every day.
Every day.
from New York to the South, North, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia. Yes.
Really?
And the trick to all this is we had to travel overnight, maybe 500-600 miles overnight,
Overnight.
to get from one show to another.
Yep.
Because we had to be there.
Yep. Fair shows and
Yes.
weekday shows and that
Yes.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
How far up into New York did you get?
About halfway up, we would go to Gary, New York.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, they had a permanent arena up there in Gary, and we used to go up there all the time.
Okay.
And it was a great place to
Yeah.
go.
That's a very famous rodeo in upstate New York,
It
not
is.
far from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And you guys put that rodeo on.
Yes, we did.
What was the association then, and what years did you do that?
It was not an association
Was it?
then. It was open rodeo. And the year,
I'm going to say from the mid 50s, or
Yeah.
late, early 60s,
really?
Yeah.
Really?
on up.
season
to,
after season after season.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere around the last one we put on up there was, well, I have no idea, maybe in the early 70s.
I would say so.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's a great rodeo still
It
going on.
is.
Volunteer fire department.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Still volunteer fire department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they still put it on.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
they
One of the
do.
stand-up ones up there. Absolutely. And where in PA, where in Pennsylvania did you get? How far east?
That's your call.
I don't know. We went up around Philadelphia and up in there.
Really? That
yes,
far east?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And
There was no place that Dad wouldn't say if they wanted a rodeo, we were there.
Yeah. And you hauled stock, you hauled equipment, you hauled everything.
The
Everything.
shoots, yes, the entire arena.
Yeah.
we hauled the complete rodeo arena, set it up, tore it down,
Can't hear you.
go to another one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So at 13, you started traveling with.
Yes, sir.
And how old were you, Debbie?
I'm a year older than him,
So-
so I was 14.
So you're on the road. You're
Yes,
going.
yes.
Dad says we're going.
Oh, yeah.
What were your jobs? 13, 14 years of age. What were your jobs? Everybody had jobs.
I was a trick roper.
Trick roper.
Yes.
I'll be darned.
Yes, I
what,
was.
What kind of tricks were you doing?
I'd do a butterfly. I
Mm-hmm.
would do step in and out of the rope. You know, just simple little tricks.
Okay. And
And I had a high school horse.
oh, you did.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, we'd work every night.
And a high school horse. That's maybe the first time on our episodes we've talked about a high school horse. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay. He could march. He could step sideways, both ways. He'd lay down.
Yeah.
You know, just he'd march. Yeah. And it just different things like that.
And you were doing this out in front of people.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the arena.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at 14 years of age, did you ever get stage fright or go, well,
No.
I don't, no.
No.
Just part of the deal.
Right.
Okay.
It was our job. That's
Okay.
the way I always looked at it.
Yeah.
It was our job.
Yeah.
To do whatever Dad said.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Am I wrong?
and who taught you to trick rope?
A good friend,
Okay.
Jimmy Levesque, and his wife would teach me, and Ethel taught me how. Ethel Sullivan.
Okay.
I mean, I'd take tips from anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was never good enough to say, I already know how to do that.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
No, no. And how many years did you perform? Started at 14.
Well, I haven't been to a rodeo in 15 years at least.
Yeah.
And I'm 73, so
So were you performing all the way up through there?
mostly.
Mostly. Okay. Okay.
It's not anything difficult.
Secretary and she.
Oh, yeah, I secretaried rodeos too.
So in addition to trick roping, you're secretary.
Yeah, I would do that because we had Mid-States Rodeo Association.
Yep.
And I would secretary the rodeos and whatever we needed.
You bet. You bet. And so when did you guys get, and before we do that, I want to go back to Steve. The jobs you had at 13 years of age, were you toting panels? What were you doing?
I was doing it all. I was toting panels. I was working the unsaddling chute, loading bulls. I just, whatever needed done, I done it.
Yeah, yeah. And any close calls for any of you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Like?
Huh?
Like?
Well,
Maybe one of the animals trying to jump out of the unloading chute.
Yeah,
Or one of the bulls getting out of the arena.
yeah.
Yeah.
Into the crowd.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
go catch him.
We were in Albany, Illinois one time, and we were at a rodeo, and one of the bulls got out, and he took off down this racetrack like you wouldn't believe. And there was people everywhere. You just, like you said, go catch him.
Yeah.
Get him out of the way, you know.
Didn't hurt anybody.
No.
Good.
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 No one.
Kept him safe.
Uh-huh.
And so would you both trick ride and do the high school horse
Oh, yeah.
at the same, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
had two acts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We would have a quadrille team. Did you ever see that?
Quadrille. So to music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have 8 horses, and we would ride partners and ride around and do the quadrille. And
It was
we,
the square dance on horseback.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, there was always something for us to do, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was always something to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, Dad would holler at one of us, you know, because he knew us by name, so we had
Whatever needed done, you guys got called on.
Exactly.
So New York, Pennsylvania. Did you go south?
West Virginia, Texas.
West Virginia, Texas.
Yeah.
Texas.
We lived in Texas.
You did. You split
Yes.
your time a bit.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Did both of you grow up in Texas? What do you consider yourself Texans?
I graduated from there.
You did.
Yes, I did.
From Texas. You
Yes.
graduated from Texas?
From the high school.
Oh, from high school. Because I've heard people graduating from Texas.
Well, you know.
Work on their masters.
And you don't ever leave it, you know. It's
So-
all,
You were there through high school.
Yes.
And spending your summers up here.
yeah.
And you, same thing, Steve?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
I was at a rodeo one year, and there was a guy getting on a bucking horse,
Yeah.
and he got scared somewhere or another and climbed out of the chutes and took off. I mean, he left.
Left his gear on and everything.
And Dad was yelling at somebody to get on that horse, and he saw me down there, he hollered at me. He said, "Stevie, go get on that horse." But it was a bad deal because the first horse rider that come out of the bucking chutes, the Humane Society arrested me.
What?
Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute. Let me back up. You're 14 years of age. You're told to get on a bronc. You go out, and as soon as the gate opens, the Humane Society is there.
Yeah, they come right out there in the rodeo arena and got me.
And got you.
And
Yes, sir.
stopped the rodeo.
Stop the road. Now, where was this?
Up northern Ohio.
Yes,
somewhere.
Northern Ohio.
Bucyrus.
Bucyrus?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Up in there somewhere.
I mean, they stopped it. We couldn't do nothing.
So they took you off?
Yes,
they hauled
sir.
you to town.
Hauled me to.
Put you in the clink.
Yep.
Really?
And Dad,
But-
too.
Really?
But my dad come and bailed me out right away.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And,
Didn't leave you overnight?
No.
He would at least known where he was at.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
yeah.
because I had spurs on.
Oh, is that right?
And
Okay.
that's when the law in Ohio was,
Oh.
again, the flank law and the spur law.
So this is 1950s, early 1960s?
Probably
60s,
60s.
sometime in the 60s.
Sometime in the 60s.
Yes,
And
sir.
So,
70s.
so was that state law, state of Ohio law?
Well, yeah.
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 But
And
it filtered out all around the states, too.
It did.
Not just Ohio.
Okay. So you had to shut the rodeo down in the middle of it all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got back, and then we went back.
And you went back to rodeo?
Yeah.
So he came and got you. So was everybody forced to take off their spurs?
No, I
No,
didn't.
no. So they left you alone after that?
Well, yeah, yeah.
After Dad took care of him. Me?
Pull up on the mic. Pull up on the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Now, first off, this is Sarah Link,
hello.
which is,
Yes.
and you're related to the
I am
King's house.
Debbie. I am Debbie's daughter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the first out at that rodeo, the sheriff's department was going to arrest the first rider out.
Yeah. Oh,
Grandpa
no matter
had-
what.
No
Yeah.
matter what.
Okay.
So Grandpa had Stevie get on. They took him to jail. The rodeo went on.
Oh.
And then before it was time to tear down,
They went and got
they
Stevie
went
out
and
of jail.
got Stevie out
That
of jail.
makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Had to
work.
The show must go on,
Yes.
and we need to get packed up and get moving.
Yeah.
We need all the help.
We have to
Yeah.
go to the next town.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, was that the only place where you run into trouble with that sort of
No, we went into trouble up on the East Coast a bunch of times
Okay.
over that. I remember my mom when she was rodeoing and she was still riding horses and stuff. She run into a bunch of trouble trying to associate with the Humane Society.
thing? Okay.
But she got around all of it and
Yeah.
got everything taken care of.
Just another job, right?
That's
Yes, sir.
right.
That was just another part of it if you did it.
Yes.
So, what were some of the broncs you guys had? Give me the famous ones.
Beaver,
Beaver.
which was 04 was his number.
Okay.
33,
Yeah.
which was a bareback horse.
Okay.
44,
44,
Yellow
Yeah.
Fever,
and
Base Strip.
base strip.
I'm lost.
Boy, I don't know. I can't think
Ot
of all
4,
of them.
I'm hearing. Ot 4.
Yeah.
Ot 4. So, tell me about Beaver.
Well, he come from a man that
Beaver
lived
wa-
right here in Camden, Ohio. I mean, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Well, Hamilton, Ohio.
Hamilton. Okay.
And he was a real good friend of ours. Matter of fact, he worked for my dad. He was
Okay.
He was a rodeo pickup man,
Okay.
and his name was Webb Bicknell. And Webb had bought this horse at a sale somewhere. And Webb, they had an eye and could look at a horse and just tell whether or not he could buck.
Okay.
Well, they bought this horse, and he ended up selling it to Dad, and he become bucking horse of the year for a long time.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, not bought from a bucking horse sale like today, just a regular auction.
Yeah, right.
But he had the ability to look at a bronc and know if he's going to buck.
Well,
He
yes,
did in that case, didn't he?
He did.
He did. And was that where you got most of the broncs, or did you have a breeding program?
No, we got most of them through sales and just picking them up here and there, and
Yeah.
And my dad had a good eye for horses too. He could tell, and bulls even.
Really?
He could look at them and tell whether or not they'd buck or not.
Okay.
Some did, some didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
And a lot of in those days, a lot of the broncs come from somebody. Hey, I got this horse. He bucks everybody off that gets on him. Can't break him. Can't train him. Come and get him. Let's see if he goes.
Yeah.
And even though then odds are pretty slim
Yes, sir.
that they're going to be a bucker.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
But you get a few of them that,
Yeah.
turn out to be good.
yeah, and that's an interesting point. I don't want to lose. A lot of folks think, oh, you put a flank strap on them, they all buck.
No.
No.
Matter of fact, when we went to court over that deal over the flank straps,
Yeah.
I took myself and took the judge of the court
Of the court. Yep.
and had him to get down on the floor on his hands and knees and put one of these flank straps on him
Yeah.
and then pulled it up like I would a regular bucking horse.
Yeah.
And all it was taking a belt
Right.
and tighten it up 2 holes too tight,
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't hurt him.
Didn't pinch him. Didn't hurt him.
No.
No.
Didn't
No.
hurt him a bit.
And when was that? When were you in that court case? This is pretty cool stuff.
In the 70s.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
And in Ohio?
in
Yeah.
Ohio.
In Ohio.
Yeah.
And they come after you again, or it was just the general flank strap thing?
No, it was the general flank strap was the law.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they was against it,
Okay.
And yeah, they come after us.
You did. So it was the law. You can't use flank straps.
That's right.
And
But we broke the law.
yeah. Because how did they buck without the flank straps?
Oh, they would buck,
Yeah.
but not a flank strap is,
As irritating as a belt.
yes, but you can control a horse.
Okay.
Or you can control a burro.
Okay.
By putting these flank straps on them, will make them either not buck so hard
I see.
or keep their legs up underneath
I
them,
see.
and keep from breaking legs and so
Yeah.
forth and
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah.
It's a safety deal too,
You bet.
You
bet.
Yeah.
But you
bet.
couldn't get them dumb people to realize
Yeah.
that.
But how did the court case come out?
Oh, they threw it out of court.
They did.
Yeah.
So the law changed as a result of what you guys did?
Eventually, yes, it
Okay.
did.
Okay.
I don't remember when it did,
Yeah.
but it did change. But they've lightened up, and they don't mess with you much anymore.
Okay.
Now, there's a few places that still go in and hammer on you,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So West Virginia, I heard that. Where in West Virginia were you going?
We went to Wheeling, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
We've been to Wheeling. We've been to Moundsville, West Virginia.
What is it? Ripley. Yeah.
Ripley, West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Just off down in through there, just not too far east of the line.
Yeah. But that's still a pretty good run from the house.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So you would bring stock up from Texas, bring it to Ohio, summer it in Texas. I'm sorry, summer it
Summer
in
here.
Ohio. Mm-hmm. Not putting on any rodeos in Texas in the summer.
No.
No.
Okay.
Too hot.
Too hot. And then you truck everything back to Texas in the
Yeah.
fall.
Huh?
Okay.
Or we'd go back during the summer. I've many a times run down to Texas and unload a load of horses and load up and come back up
Right.
for another rodeo.
So is that West Laco? Did I hear that right?
Wesley Co.
West Leco.
West Leco.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
W.E. Scott Lumber Company.
Oh, wow. You could be a pilot. West Leco. And you were, and that's Texas. Where in Texas is Westlico?
It's about as far south as you can go
In the
without
Rio
going
Grande
across
Valley.
the valley.
Really?
Yes.
All the
Yeah.
way down.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 miles from Mexico.
Holy cow. and that's where the King family started.
That's where we ended up.
That's
Yeah.
where
That's
we
where you
ended up.
ended up. But you've
didn't-
always been Texas.
Well, not always, but I mean, when Dad first started, we were living right over here in Richmond.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
Okay.
when he first started.
But your grandparents, they were always Texas?
Oklahoma.
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 Oklahoma, so a little bit further, or quite a bit further north.
Just in Hugo.
Hugo. And how many acres did they have there?
Do you know?
I don't know for sure how many acres there was. They had 3 or 4 different places
Did
leased.
they?
Yeah.
Did they? Okay. And they were running, it was just primarily bucking livestock? I mean, were
Yes,
they
sir.
feeding
Yeah.
cattle? Anything else? Just
No, just
Rodeo.
mainly rodeo.
Just
life.
rodeo.
rodeo. So their main livelihood, their main income was rodeo.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Period. And then what took it all down to Westlico?
My mom and dad moved down there
Okay.
in the valley. He had family down there,
Oh, he did.
and he moved down there and built mom a new house, and then we just started down there.
Really? And how many acres down there?
We only had, what, 25?
Something like that.
But livestock on all of it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You still have that land down there?
No.
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 In the permanent arena.
We had
Well,
a lot
yeah,
of...
there was a permanent arena down there, but I mean, we, Mom and Dad sold out, so we don't live down there anymore.
Yeah. So in the permanent arena, weekly rodeos, what were you doing?
About once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And open rodeos?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And open rodeos means no association.
Right.
Exactly.
So how did cowboys and cowgirls know about you? How'd they know something was going on?
Oh, the word travels fast.
It does.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Travels fast.
We belong to the TRCA, the Texas Rodeo
Rodeo.
Cowboys
Oh, you did?
Association. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And they had a monthly magazine or whatever
Yes.
back in the days when everything was published there.
Yes.
You'd sort through it and figure out where you're going to go, get on
Right.
the phone,
Yeah.
right, and spend hours on the phone trying to get through,
Exactly.
right?
Trying to get through to talk to me.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And were you on a party line, by the way?
Yes. Yes. At that time we were.
Yeah, yeah. Neighbors didn't appreciate that
No.
probably so much.
No.
No. Well, that is very cool. And bulls. What'd you have for bulls?
We had mainly, we bought tail barn bulls.
Did you?
There again, like I said, my dad had an eye for livestock that, could do something. And we went through a lot of bulls, buying and selling and trading and bucking, take them home, buck them 3 or 4 times. And because you buck them 3 or 4 times, you can tell whether they're going to buck or not.
You bet.
And then take them back and swap them out, get more, But they had an endless amount of bulls down in that country.
Okay. So you try them on. You're buying them for weight, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're paying so much a pound.
Yeah.
They don't work, you take them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same sale barn next time.
You bet. So in the arena, you would practice. Now, you get young folks to come and practice getting on your bulls and your broncs?
Yeah. We'd have jackpots,
Okay.
and we'd go out on Sunday afternoon and have a bull riding jackpot, just ride for money, and, just we'd put money up ourselves and just
Oh, you
have
would? Okay.
just have a jackpot.
Okay. So a little added money to it also.
Yeah.
Very neat. Talk a little bit over the years about the cowboys, cowgirls that you saw coming through. Go all the way back as soon, and any names that pop up.
That's on you.
Well, there was a lot of people, mainly everybody that come through worked for my dad,
Okay.
rodeo.
Okay.
There was Ford. He was a colored guy, and he was a good cowboy.
Yeah.
Homer Harris was rodeo clown. He worked for my dad. Minker, what was his name?
Minker?
not my girl. I can't think of his name.
You've got old people here.
That's okay. That's okay. And Buck Ford, didn't he go on to work for Longhorn Rodeo Company?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
he did.
Okay, I've heard that name.
Worked years and years
Yeah.
for Bruce Larkey.
You bet.
Yes, he did.
You bet. And
And ended up dying there.
did he?
Yeah.
With the Longhorn Rodeo Company?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where did Buck come from?
Pennsylvania.
When you first
up
saw
east,
it. Okay.
Up east in New Jersey, somewhere up in there.
Okay. And what events was he working?
He'd work them all.
He did.
Yeah.
Anything and everything.
Anything you needed done, he done.
Okay.
He was tough.
He was tough. Okay.
Yeah, he was, I don't know, probably 80 years old.
When he passed away.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but he's working right up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And took care of horses for Bruce Larkey for years.
For
and
those
years.
white, the 6 white horses.
Yes, sir.
Right? That they
Yes,
used in the
yes.
openings.
Yeah.
And I heard Harris, what was his first name? The rodeo clown?
Homer.
Homer Harris. Related to Liesl Harris?
No.
No.
No relation at all.
No.
I mean, I knew Liesl real well, but he was not related with him.
Did Liesl do some work for you?
No, I don't think Liesl ever did work for him.
No.
I don't recall that either. I don't recall that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he was strictly IPRA, and that's where he stayed.
That's where he stayed. And you guys ultimately got IRA, right?
Yeah.
You went to that association. Before it was IPRA,
Yeah.
Yes.
before the P.
Yes.
Ever any RCA stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we never belonged to the RCA.
Okay.
But we put on RCA rodeos and stuff.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Under somebody else's card?
Yeah.
Any cowboy stories? Anything that just comes to mind? Traveling story? It doesn't matter. Stories.
You may not want to know these.
Oh, it is a family show, so just we can beep it out if we need to.
No, everything was. They traveled. Everybody traveled easy, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and got along, and just like a big family.
Okay.
I mean,
Did you ever meet Tom Orr, the Mountain Man?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Tom used to come around a lot.
He come out of this neck of the woods, right? Out of
Yes.
Illinois?
Out
Yes.
of Michigan.
Out of Michigan. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was Illinois. You may be right.
It might have been, but I was thinking it was.
He
Michigan.
was scattered around a bit.
Yeah.
Illinois. I believe Tom was from Illinois, and he actually said on your podcast that he came to an indoor show here in New Paris, and that was put on by Bob Rollins.
An indoor rodeo here in New Paris?
Yes,
How
sir.
many people live in New Paris?
Not many.
You see it?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Maybe 100.
maybe that's what I was going to say. So where's an indoor rodeo?
There isn't any
Oh,
longer.
oh,
but
oh.
when Tom rode,
Yeah.
when Tom Orr rode, it was at Bob Rollins indoor arena over here.
Oh, it was.
Yes, and
Okay.
that was probably
Yeah,
the
it-
60s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
So he would have been young.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
He would have been just cracking out.
Yeah, for sure.
I know your father announced. Any other announcers you've had over the years that come to mind?
Oh, Jerry Bellis,
Tom Pearson.
Tom Pearson,
Yeah.
Okay.
Woody Woodruff.
Woody Woodruff.
Okay.
That's all I can think of right now.
Aaron Platt.
Jerry's announced a lot of rodeos.
Did
for
he?
me,
Did
yeah.
he? Jerry Bellis did.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Platt.
Platt.
He comes from this neck of the woods. Aaron does. Okay. He's still announcing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jerry would come up and do shows for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd come up and stay all summer with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry and I was good friends.
Now, is that when he was still riding bulls?
No, he quit riding bulls quite a while before he was announcing.
Say hello.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
Yes,
It's
sir.
Lord Postawait. Thank the King Brothers, a lot of the other Scott countries around. I'm here. We're all like a big family.
That's for sure.
One big family. My wife died when my boys was wee little. And the school my boys went to and everything, Art, you did a great job of raising your boys.
Absolutely.
I didn't raise them.
Oh,
Rodeo did.
rodeo raised them. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Tell the haircutting story, the bet.
Oh, the haircut. Yeah, I was at a rodeo down in Cincinnati, and they built that arena right there over top of Roy Rogers' house that he was raised up in. They tore it down, built that Coliseum down there, had a rodeo down there. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the stock contractor. But we always have fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're a bunch of family. I had long hair. I had real long hair. And I was getting down on him and everything. And the stock contractor was a flank man. He leaned over at me. He said, now, if this horse bucks you off, Art, you got to get a haircut. So I said, okay.
You agreed?
Yeah. I agreed to him. I said, yeah, you got a bet, buddy. Because I knew I could ride that horse.
Yeah.
It's an old Appaloosa. I knew I could ride him. That sucker went out there about 3 jumps, and he slammed me to the ground. I couldn't believe it. Well, I got up. I was all right in there.
Yeah.
I looked up, and here comes 3 cowboys running at me. I couldn't understand why they're coming. They grabbed me and dragged me behind the bucket chutes. And this stock contractor jumped down off the bucket chutes, took his Barlow penknife, cut my hair right there.
Right there.
They stopped the rodeo and everything. Buddy, I tell you what, I didn't have long hair no more.
No more. No more. Oh,
That's right.
That's a great story. That's a great
I saw
story.
him. He's about a year or so later. I was there, and he came up to me. He said, Art, you're about the only one I could do that to.
Yeah.
Anybody else would have sued me.
And,
But I tell you what, rodeo is a family going up and down the road. And I did it for many years. I started in '69.
okay.
And I did a lot of rodeo. And if I could have wore a wig and everything, I entered every event. If I could have wore a wig, I'd have gotten the barrel race.
Absolutely. But you worked all the events.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I worked bull riding, saddle broncs, barebacks, bulldogging. I didn't do too much roping. I started out, but I found out I got to feed that horse.
Yes.
So I couldn't take him up and down the road with me.
A lot of overhead there. And at the time you were living,
In Byesville, Ohio.
which is
East to here, about 60 miles west of Wheeling, West Virginia. And I was born and raised down there. Then my first bull I ever got on was down at Louisiana.
Okay.
Farmersville, Louisiana. A guy called the Mask Marble put me on my first bull.
in Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
What took you to Louisiana?
I left walked out of high school.
Yeah.
And I went to work for Irby Construction, power line company, and they needed me down in Louisiana. So I was down there, and I heard about that rodeo they was having that weekend. So I went out and bought me a little vest,
Yeah.
bought me a pair of cowboy boots,
Yeah.
bought me a 25-cent hat,
Yeah.
and I went to the rodeo. Of course, there's no strangers wherever I go.
Right.
So I went walking around and met this guy. He's a saddle bronc rider. And they needed bull riders. He asked me if I'd ride a bull. And I didn't know nothing about expedition. I didn't know nothing about rodeoing. So he got me a bull rope and a set of spurs. And the reason why they called him the Masked Marble, he got his face kicked in by a saddle bronc.
What?
And
Wow.
he wore a catcher's mask. Like
When
a
he
regular
rode.
catcher's mask when he rode a saddle bronc.
Oh my goodness.
And he put me on my first bull.
Wow.
And I was working for Irby Construction down. And then after that, I found out how to enter in it. I met King Brothers. I met all of Dave Morgan, Ralph Schaubacher, just a bunch of guys in rodeos that taught me how to get entered in them and everything.
And when I met you, late 90s, you were clowning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tried to do it all.
Okay.
I rode. I was a clown.
Bullfighter.
Bullfighter.
Yep.
Yep. I did it all. As a matter of fact, I got a good one real quick. This little boy's out eating a bunch of candy.
Yeah.
And I went up that little boy.
Yeah.
I said, buddy, you got to quit eating that candy.
Yeah.
It's going to rot in your teeth.
Yeah.
It's going to make you have sugar and
Yeah.
everything. You stop eating that stuff.
Yeah.
He looked up at me and he said, my grandpa lived to be 106 years old. I said, by eating candy? He said, nope, by minding his own business. Hey, thank you for letting me talk to you.
I'm glad you stopped by, Art.
And
Great
God
to see
bless
you.
you.
You bet. Good to see you, my friend.
Take care.
You bet. So,
I said he's always had stories.
oh, he's got stories. My goodness. And just on the spot there, that was
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. And when did you guys meet Art? Postaway.
Oh, geez.
Where did we meet him at?
Yeah, when? Do you remember how old and when, where it had been?
Back in the
No,
60s?
not really. Met him over in Cambridge, Ohio.
Cambridge.
That he lived over by there, and
Okay.
we were putting the rodeo on there
Yeah.
in Cambridge.
Yeah.
And he come to ride at the rodeo.
Now, that always amazes me. You grew up in rodeo. Both of you guys did. It was always around you. And here's somebody, comes out of Ohio, goes down to Louisiana on a job.
Yeah.
I mean, did he see it in the Western Horseman? I mean, had never stepped into a rodeo arena before. And what hooks these guys, motivates these guys.
It's just the atmosphere and the lifestyle
Yeah.
that you run.
Yeah. And that lifestyle, a lot of miles on the road.
Yes, sir.
And the thrill of it.
You bet.
I mean, you always get a large thrill out of making somebody else happy.
When's the first rodeo?
July 27th is Louisa, Kentucky.
Louisa.
That's the first one, yes.
And how many years you been doing Louisa?
We've had that 6 or 7 years, and they both kind of set down in a hill, and people are just, they come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And a
of course-
great crowd.
And for our listeners, this is Sarah Link. And Sarah, Debbie's your mom.
Debbie is my mom.
Yep.
My dad is Steve Link. He's here.
Yep.
He was a pickup man. He rode saddle broncs, and in the 80s, 70s, 80s, he had his own rodeo company.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, it was him and Dale Haley, and
Okay.
it was Haley and Link Rodeo.
Haley and Link Rodeo.
Yes.
And put on in this area.
Pretty much,
Up around?
yes.
Okay.
Dad lived in Bennington, Beebe, Indiana.
Beebe.
Southern Indiana.
Southern Indiana.
Yes.
Down along the Ohio River.
Yes,
And you grew up in rodeo.
I did.
Earliest memories.
My earliest memory is Weslaco, Texas, in the arena. My dad had a paint horse, a big red and white paint horse named Doc, and I would ride, Doc around the arena, and I would yell, "Look, Dad, I'm going damn fast." And I was about two,
2 years old.
3.
They
and
put you on the big horse.
Yes,
Okay.
big old paint horse. And I do remember that.
Okay. Did you compete in rodeo, entertain in rodeo?
I trick roped a little when I was very little, about 7. And then probably at around 11 years old, my grandma and grandpa taught myself and 2 of my cousins to trick ride, Tara
Okay.
and Chad.
Okay.
And we all trick rode together.
And did like the, what is it, the Standing Liberty or Liberty Stand?
That was not...
Hippodrome stand.
Hippodrome
Yes,
Stand.
the hippodrome stand. That was not my trick. That
No.
was Tara's trick.
Okay. You all had
Yeah.
tricks.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Tara did a lot of that kind. She did the 1-foot stand and stuff. I was a little scared of heights. But I did like the lay over the neck and the death drag.
Okay.
And then Chad, he did vaults. He'd, jump out of the saddle and onto the ground and back across.
Oh, yeah.
And he was amazing,
Yeah.
but he didn't like it.
Didn't like
wasn't-
it.
Wasn't
Wasn't his
manly
thing.
enough. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He would have rather been in the chutes.
Okay. Did he start riding?
He did a little bit,
Little
but
bit?
mostly fighting bulls. He was mostly a
Really?
bullfighter.
He was a
Mhm.
bullfighter.
Yeah.
And back in those days, if you're a bullfighter, you better be funny too.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I gotta have both.
Yeah.
Don't just need a funny man. So when was he fighting bulls, and did he head off into the funny part of the business?
Chad probably when maybe the late 80s, not early 90s, and he continued to do that for a while. Now, besides helping with King Brothers, in the wintertime, he judges at Joe and Amy McQuillan.
They're busy all winter long.
Yes.
I saw Joe and Amy, and it sounds like they've got a lot going on down there. It sounds like October to May, I believe
Yeah.
they said,
Uh-huh.
weekly. And Sarah, before you step off, any stories you can think that either of these should be telling or you want to tell?
My goodness, you put me on the spot.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I remember one time in the 80s, I think it was maybe 82, maybe, we had Toledo, Ohio. And that was a big indoor coliseum.
Okay.
And that's my earliest memory of having like a coliseum type rodeo. I was pretty little at the time. So our job as the cousins,
all the grandkids.
yes, all the grandkids, grandma and grandpa's grandkids, was to sell programs for a quarter a piece.
Quarter of program.
And so that was our job, and I remember yelling at the top of my lungs, "Programs, get your programs!" So that was a fun memory. And
the Coliseum's kind of a big deal back then.
Yeah.
Just
It
about
was.
everything you did was outdoors, right?
yes, yeah.
So that's pretty
It
cool.
was
to go
very
inside.
different, yes, very different. And we did get to ride. I don't know if we trick rode there, though. I don't think we did.
Okay.
But another memory, when my dad had his rodeo, I believe it was in Madison, Indiana. I don't recall what happened, but his contract act didn't show up. So he ended up talking me into trick riding for him on my aunt's parade horse who'd never been trick riding
Oh my
before.
goodness! Oh my goodness!
So I did, and we did fine, and we both lived. And
Okay.
It was okay.
Did you at least have your trick riding saddle?
I did.
You
Yes, I did. Yeah, I had it with me because I had taken the horse down there to try to kind of get him used to rodeo, and had him for grand entry.
Okay.
And I just took my trick riding saddle, and Dad said, "Hey, I need you." So
That's a pretty
that-
big deal to get on a horse for the first time and do trick riding.
it was a little scary,
Oh
but we
my
made it through it.
He ran straight and did everything you were supposed to
Yes.
do.
They all do it.
Yes.
He did it to me.
Yes.
He did it to you,
Yeah.
too?
My horse was lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Tara King, and yeah, they all do it to us. We were at a rodeo in Ohio, and my trick riding horse came up lame about 2 hours before the show, and rodeo's getting ready to start, and I look over and I see my trick riding saddle on my dad's pickup horse, big wild blue roan,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Hang on tight." And
Now,
we were.
You did the hippodrome stand. No, come on.
Yes, sir.
And that horse had never had
Nope.
anybody.
He was a pickup horse.
How would you?
I was scared to death.
I would-
But I looked over and saw my dad, and he was like,
Yeah, there you go.
all right.
I mean, I'm scared just listening to the story.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, they would turn us loose on just about anything. I remember when we were kids, Grandma and Grandpa had their place in Centerville, and they had all the bucking chutes in the arena offloaded so that it could be painted.
Yeah.
And we would take our saddle horses and run them in the chutes, and then one of us said open the chute gate, and we were playing like we were riding
Yeah.
saddle bronc horses and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Part of the deal.
Yeah.
How fun.
And look, the kids all lived.
They did. They did.
We did.
I mean, that's rough and tumble, though.
Yeah.
You're going to get on this. How tall was that horse, Tara?
He's about 15 and a half hands.
It's a big horse.
Yeah.
He was a big old horse.
And you're doing that at a pretty good pace. When
Oh,
you
this horse
Yes.
flew.
Did he?
Flat flew. Yeah. You
But
better get
honest-
down and get up.
And honestly, the faster they are, the easier it is to trick ride on.
Oh,
It's
that's
easier to
good.
get in
Did
and out of
did
the
that save the day for you, Tara?
Yeah, it did. It helped a lot. He was
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah. So, talk to us about where King Brothers Rodeo's going.
My grandson, her boy,
Coy.
Coy. Yes.
Coy. I met Coy
He ri-
earlier.
he rides bulls.
He rides bulls.
Yes.
Okay. And he's interested in carrying on the rodeo?
I think so, yes. That's not really something we've all discussed or
Oh, okay.
anything.
Oh.
But yeah, he's interested in it. He pretty much grew up in it, kind of the same way we did,
As long as you travel and everybody's together, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
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 That makes sense. But it's big business. I mean, there's a lot on the line at any point in time, right?
I used to go to the conventions with my dad
Yeah.
to book the rodeos, and yes, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I mean, you've got to do right.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting to me because I got to go places that the other ones didn't.
You bet. And when you talked about your rodeo every night somewhere during the summer fair season, a lot of logistics go into that, and you better have a heck of a crew.
Yes.
They have to hustle.
Yeah.
And safety's all part of it, and overnight driving's all part of it.
You're right.
And taking care of the livestock, they eat before you eat.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my dad's main thing.
Yep.
You don't eat until those livestock eat.
That's right. That's right. That's right. A big investment.
Yeah,
Big investment
it is.
in livestock and equipment, and you got to have the right crew.
One thing about it is all the kids are, I got 4 kids,
Yep.
and my kids are going to step up and take it and go on with it, you know.
Okay.
And her kids all get together, and everybody be just like another big family
That's
deal,
perfect.
you know.
That's perfect. You bet. That's excellent. And as we've talked, and what is so apparent here at the reunion, it doesn't matter really at this point what you did in the arena.
No.
It's all the memories and the relationships and the connections that were made.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
this feels a lot like a family reunion to me.
And
Yeah.
and look at all the people that are here
Yeah.
that we haven't seen for years.
Yeah.
You know, this is amazing.
Yes.
That all these people showed up just for a little get together like this.
Yeah.
You bet.
Thanks to this girl right here.
You bet. And
Well,
great
not
food.
just me.
Huh?
Not just me.
Not just you, but you
Yeah.
did a lot. So, yes.
Any other stories, any other memories, anything you want to throw out?
The only thing I could think of is when Tom Moore would come around.
Yeah.
Not only him, but Chris Ledoux came a lot of times. He used to